Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Dr. Wan Amiza. We are from Group 9, which is our group member. Myself is Muhammad Zahiri bin Muhammad and Muhammad Ashraf bin Rajiun, Nur Ilyas bin Nur Azmi, Siti Nurul Izzah binti Muhammad Sahroni, Najiha Amira binti Muhammad Syafwan Kamal. So firstly, I will go through the introduction of foundation. The foundation is known as the substructure under the soil structure, and the building itself is known as the superstructure, which is above ground structure. So the main function of the foundation is to support the load of the superstructure and transmit the load evenly to soil. The foundation transmits the loads imposed on the structure to the soil below it, and therefore, this is why the type of soil used is very important for the foundation. Depending upon whether the soil is stable or loose and unstable and the type of size and the structure, the foundation is designed as either shallow or deep. So how we can know that we have a stable foundation? A stable foundation should bear the loads without sinking or settling more than an inch at the most. Even this settlement should be uniform under the entire building. Foundations are necessary to be strong and stable. The soil type of the particular area might not be solid. So, inspection of the soil and the surrounding areas is necessary to determine the type of foundation that need to be constructed before we build any building above it.
I am going to explain the building foundation. So there are 4 types of soils, which is soft soil, spreading soil, hard and rocky soil, and non-cohesive sandy. So for the first one is soft soil. This soil is compressive and yield when it is loaded. For example, clay, soil and loam. So this type of soil is suitable for smaller buildings or ordinary structure. So it is not good to be used for a bigger building. So next is spreading soil. So these are non-cohesive soil. So for example is sand and mud. And for the third one is hard or rocky soils. These are incompressible and strong soil. So they can stand with a heavy load without yielding. And it usually used for multi-story buildings, and water reservoirs are designed with this type of soil. So the last one is non-cohesive sandy. These are the subsoil that are less of a problem. It is unaffected by water and rely on the size, closeness of compaction or strength. And the consolidation of non-cohesive soil is occurring rapidly due to building load. So swapping on this type of soil is difficult to prove, but it is because of running groundwater will erode the final particle and leaving the coastal material in an unstable condition. So usually it is if the water table is high, so the construction on non-cohesive subsoil will need the construction of drainage. So next is what is the main function of building foundation. So for the first one is to distribute the load of the structure over a large area, and the second one is to transmit the load uniformly under the structure, and last but not least is to provide a firm, level and strong base over which the superstructure may be constructed. So that is all from me. Thank you.
Load on foundation. 4 different types of load, which is a lift load, dead load, white load and snow load. And a load can be defined as anything which exerts pressure of thrust on a structure. Load distribution of frame structure. Load of roof covering plus any rain, wind and other load transfer to roof slab. Then load from slab exerted by a beam and transfer to column. Foundation selection. Foundation selection need to be considered by the type of loading of the building. Big load need big foundation such as rough foundation or piling. Factors that need to be considered in foundation design. An engineer need to consider about factor of safety, FOS, at least 3, which is increased number of borehole or sufficient number of burials so that the result of the report is more accurate.
Next is type of foundation. The first type of foundation is shallow foundation. It is a type of building foundation that transfers building loads to the earth very near to the surface rather than to a subsurface layer. The shallow foundation has multiple types to choose from. The first one is square flat foundation. This type foundation is usually used in hill slopes projects of construction. Next is the rectangular foundation. This type of foundation is usually used when obstruction prevent the square foundation to be built. Next is the circular foundation. This is frequently used as flat post, light stand, and power transmission line foundations. Next is continuous foundation. Continuous is known as wall foundation or street foundation. Is to support load-bearing wall. Next is the combined foundation. Combined foundation is to combined foundation is two walls or columns that use just one foundation. Next is ring foundation. Ring foundation is a wall foundation that is circular in shape. The last is rough foundation. This is to use in heavily constructed the load that needs to be distributed over a large surface area. This kind of rough foundation usually used in soft soil that is clay. Next, the second type of foundation is deep foundation. This is for in heavy construction, much greater loads are carried by the soil, so the foundation design is often more complex, and normally the structural engineer will select the deep foundation such as pile, pier, or mat foundation. There is multiple factors in influencing the choice of pile use. Number one is the location and type of structure. So we survey the type of structure and the load, the total load of the project. Number two is ground condition. We see the type of soil around the project, which is soft, hard, or sandy condition. Next is durability. So for pile, we need to consider the lifelong cycle or the use of the structure. Next is cost. So we choose the type of pile within the cost of the project.
Alright, the selection of pile. For pile, there are many classification selection of pile based on their own material. Example like timber pile, steel pile, concrete pile, composite pile, and sheet pile. For timber pile is one of the oldest type of pile and still one of the most common, because timber pile is cheapest pile in the industry. But there are advantage and disadvantage for timber pile using. The advantage for timber pile, such as firstly is economical, secondly is easy to handle, the secondly is used as waterfront structure. Meanwhile, for disadvantage for timber pile is decay above water table. The second is can be damaged in hard driving, and thirdly is susceptible to decay. For lastly, every type of pile has its own advantage and disadvantage based on your own selection of the pile.